Finally. I feel like it's the 10th time saying this, but Jonathan Kuminga might finally be here. Back-to-back 34-point games, one without Steph Curry and Draymond Green, and then the last one just last night with Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and the whole complement of Warriors players. Still coming off the bench, he was able to make a huge impact on both the offensive and defensive end, and honestly is the reason why we were able to finally get over 500 again and actually win this game. So we're going to dive right into it. Right here, we see Buddy Hield with the ball. He's initiating the offense a little bit here. And Kuminga he's content in the corner right here. And he's not the primary option on these types of plays. Obviously, Eric Gordon and Steph Curry is going to be where most of the defensive attention is given when Buddy Hield's driving into the lane. Buddy Hield had a terrible night, but you see here, Buddy looks for Steph. He's able to get the ball right there, and Steph kind of drives right down the lane. And Steph Curry, obviously, the gravity is just insane. You see basically everyone here is going to look right at him, even though I don't think Zero needed to really come over to help here in this play and could have probably actually stayed with Kuminga, but he leaves Kuminga wide open in the corner. This is an easy pass for somebody like Steph Curry, and Kuminga hits it. And I think this development, as I was talking earlier in the offseason, is going to be super important for Kuminga as we continue the three-point game. He's shied away from taking more of those mid-range shots that you might traditionally see him take in the past, and now is more of a rim or three type player. And I think that's good for his development in the modern NBA. It might be boring for viewers and watching, but for the modern NBA, definitely an important point. Here we see right here, pick and roll early for Steph Curry, just trying to get Steph Curry a little bit of space going downhill, and Draymond Green maybe in a 4 versus 3 scenario. Right here you see he actually slips the screen though, gets it to Draymond Green, and you see basically we have Bradley Beal just chasing Draymond Green and unable to get in front of him. And Kuminga immediately recognizes this as soon as Draymond gets the advantage and knows that we're going to have Rosen and Neal contest him maybe for the charge or something like that, which means that the backdoor lob should be open. And this is the type of stuff that I don't think would have happened year one. I don't think would have happened year two. But now finally he's recognizing when the play is breaking down or when Steph and Dre do something irregular that the play wasn't necessarily called, then he knows exactly where to be. And I think that's crucial for him to integrate with the starters when he plays like starting like minutes. Here we have Dennis kind of getting the ball right here, and they run a little action with Wiggins. And once again, Steph Curry's going to get the ball. Steph Curry had a really good first half, not as good of a second half. And so they shade basically everyone towards Steph Curry right here. I have two players right here, but Steph sees Draymond open. And once again, we have Kuminga in the corner with Steph and Dre. And this forces KD into a tough position. He doesn't really know where to go. And Kuminga does the smart play right here. I think in the past, he might have just stayed by the three-point line. But what you see here is Kuminga's getting in this athletic stance, getting ready, realizing that Draymond is taking all of the defense. And what's better than open three? And that's 2 points for sure and dunk. And so he goes right there. And Tyus Jones does a good job of trying to get back, but he has no chance. Kuminga's way too fast, and he's able to close that distance and get an easy dunk right there, which I think was key. Driving towards the rim and shooting the three, that's what we want Kuminga to be doing. Right here, we actually have Kuminga on the defensive end, and definitely something I wanted to highlight a little bit. He was tasked with guarding Kevin Durant for a good portion of plays last night. It was usually either Draymond Green or Jonathan Kuminga, and sometimes Kuminga did a pretty good job. Obviously, he's not perfect, but I think he did the best job he could, forcing KD into a spin move right here, and then he goes up and tries to contest it, but I think KD realized that Kuminga was in a perfect spot, and Schroeder, I think one of his shining lights, even though he shot like 1-3 and it was a huge three, but he missed most everything else, kind of putting pressure on Kevin Durant to get rid of that ball quickly, forces him into a horrible pass for Lindy. And then we see Kuminga in transition, which is something I think the Warriors need to do even more of, is get him in transition. He's just too fast for Tyus Jones. There was no way he was getting back in time, and Kuminga finishes that with a dunk, which if we can finish those points in transition, it's going to be key to the Warriors kind of winning. Now, let's see. Kuminga's on the floor now without Steph Curry and only with Draymond Green. The plays are going to be set for Kuminga. It's clear that he's now the second option with this Warriors team. Andrew Wiggins is not in that slot anymore. It's really Jonathan Kuminga. We have a big on Jonathan Kuminga, a 5, a slow-footed 5. So what should he do here? Just thinking logically, just drive to the rim, try and beat him off the dribble, some type of kind of situation like that. Let's see what he does here. So he backs him up, tries to get him to basically go beyond the three-point line, but starts backing him down immediately. Look how much space, look how much fear is in the Suns. Look how much space is here. And the fear that he has over Jonathan Kuminga just being able to close the space immediately. And he gives him so much space, even going up to the free throw line, just because that's the shot they're willing to give up. But Kuminga takes it, doesn't do what he wants him to do, and is able to shield the ball by keeping it close to his body and then put him up at the last second, which is able to get that easy basket for Kuminga off of isolation possession, essentially. And I think that's something the Warriors will do in the future, try to get the 5 of the opponent's team, whether it's Nurkic, Plumlee, whoever it is, and try and make it so that Kuminga can go one-on-one with them and hopefully beat them to the basket. The Warriors have traditionally really loved to pick on 5s, especially slow-footed 5s, and I think that's going to be something they do in the future. Right here, once again on the defensive end, Kuminga hugging up on Kevin Durant, making it tough for him. I think the plan essentially here is he's going to top guard Kevin Durant, and as soon as Kevin Durant enters like this area where he loves the mid-range, we have Draymond or we have somebody come and contest him for his mid-range shot that he so patently loves. Kuminga does a good job, though, of actually poking him from behind and putting pressure on him, and then this leads once again to a transition opportunity that ends with a Warriors bucket, which is exactly what we want. Here we have one of the more important possessions of the game. Not too much time left, and Kuminga is going to be setting a screen here for what was supposed to be Steph Curry, but the play devolved a little bit here. And you see, whenever that does happen, the ghost screening action, Kevin Durant's kind of not sure exactly what to do, or he's not sure if he's supposed to hand him off and who's going to guard Schroeder in this type of position. And so there's confusion on the backside. And so that leads to Jonathan Kuminga getting a really wide open run towards the basket and very important bucket. But it seems like they were more occupied with Steph Curry putting 2 on him, and Kevin Durant realizes, oh, wait, there's nobody who's in the painted area who can really contest this. I think they probably planned on Mason Plumlee kind of being there, but this leads to an easy kind of dunk opportunity. And so KD is forced to foul right here. And that ends up with 2 Jonathan Kuminga free throws, which is also key because Kuminga's been like a 60% free throw shooter, but he's able to put the game in a great position by making both free throws with 29 seconds left on the clock and still the whole shot clock left, which is huge because if the Warriors didn't make one, then the game would still be tied and they'd have an opportunity after the Suns shot to potentially win the game or to tie it back. So Jonathan Kuminga actually made both free throws though, and the Suns didn't make their shot, so it ended up being key for the Warriors and they ended up winning this game. If you guys like this content and want more Kuminga content in the future, please feel free to like and subscribe. We love everything about Kuminga and he's playing a lot better now, so hopefully he can keep this up. Thank you guys for watching.